Welcome to Learn Yourself. Today we are going to solve main exercise of chapter Metal and Non-Metal. This chapter is under CBSE Standard 10 syllabus. So this is the main exercise from the page number 56, and this is first question. In that they have asked that which of the following pairs will give displacement reaction. Now what is displacement reaction? When one compound is there, for example, let us take this. So NaCl solution and copper metal. So this compound and one element or one metal's reaction we have to check. In that we have to check that whether this metal will displace this metal or not. If it will displace, then it is displacement reaction. And when this will happen, what is the condition of displacing this metal? That this metal should be more reactive compared to this metal. That means copper should be more reactive compared to sodium, then only it will displace sodium from the compound. Whenever you are breaking a compound and whenever you are keeping another metal at the place of this metal, then it should be more reactive compared to this. Then only that displacement will happen. In each of this case, we have to see that this metal is reactive compared to this compound's metal or not. If yes, if they are reactive, more reactive compared to this metals, then it will displace. If not, then they will not be able to displace the compound. So whenever we are checking this, we have to write like this, so it will give us better idea. So here it is MgCl2 solution, and this reaction will always happen in solution or in liquid phase. So here FeSO4 and plus silver metal Ag. Then last one is AgNO3 plus copper. So in first case, sodium is more reactive compared to Cu. So this reaction cannot take place. Sodium is more reactive compared to copper. So copper cannot displace sodium. So this cannot happen. Then MgCl2 and Al. Here also magnesium is more reactive compared to Al. So this displacement will also not going to happen. Then FeSO4 and Ag. So iron is more reactive compared to silver. So this reaction also will not happen. That silver cannot take the place of iron because iron is more reactive compared to silver. Then last, silver and copper. Yes, here copper is reactive compared to silver. So copper will take the place of silver and it will make CuNO3 twice, copper nitrate, and silver will be separated out. So this reaction will happen and this is going to be our displacement reaction. So that is how we have to solve it. Which metal is reactive compared to another metal, that is important in this. Our second question is, which of the following method is suitable for preventing an iron frying pan from rusting? Now if it is a simple iron, then we can use all this method, that applying grease, applying paint, applying coating of zinc when it is only a piece of iron, iron bar or iron rod. But here it is frying pan. So continuously every day we are using it and every day we are heating it. So in that case we cannot use this greasing, we cannot use painting, and we can only use is applying coating of zinc. So when it is a frying pan, we can only use applying coating of zinc to prevent it from rusting. Our third question is, an element reacts with oxygen to give a compound with a high melting point. This compound is also soluble in the water. The element is likely to be So they have given two hints here. That first is when it is reacting with oxygen, it is giving a compound which has high melting point. Then second is it is also soluble in the water. So here calcium can give a compound after reacting with oxygen. Carbon can give a compound after reacting with oxygen. Silicon will also give a compound after reacting with oxygen, and so as iron. So all will react with oxygen and will give a compound after that. And all of them are metal except carbon. So it doesn't have higher melting point and it will give a carbon dioxide. So it will soluble in the water, but it doesn't have a melting point. So that's why this possibility we are cancelling. Then after, from this three, calcium, silicon and iron cannot dissolve in the water, silicon cannot dissolve in the water, but calcium can dissolve in the water. So correct answer is calcium, because it is giving a compound also which has a higher melting point, and second, it will soluble in the water. Then next, food cans are coated with tin and not with the zinc, because zinc is costlier than tin? No. Then zinc has higher melting point than tin? No. Zinc is more reactive than tin? Yes. Because zinc is more reactive than tin, we are not using zinc. And zinc is less reactive? No. Zinc is not less reactive than tin. So this is also not correct. Why the food cans are coated with tin? Because tin is less reactive. So there are less chances that tin will react with the food compound present in the can. So because tin is less reactive, we are coating the food can with tin. Fifth question is, you are given a hammer, a battery, bulb, wire and a switch. All these materials we have. So with the use of this material, how could you use them to distinguish between samples of metal and non-metal? First of all, whenever you are using a hammer, we can beat a metal, we can make a thin sheet, we can draw into a wire. So metals are malleable, metals are ductile, whereas non-metals are brittle. They are non-malleable and they are non-ductile. So we cannot make a sheets out of that and we cannot draw them into a wire. So with the use of hammer, we can identify metal and non-metal. And rest of the things like battery, bulb, wire and a switch, when we are connecting them in a circuit, if we have a piece of metal, then the bulb will glow, because metal are good conductor of electricity. So it will pass electricity and bulb will glow. When we are putting non-metal into a circuit, then bulb will not be able to glow, because they are non-conductor of electricity. So that is how we will distinguish between metal and non-metal sample. Now distinguish and differentiate between metal and non-metal based on this. So now we will frame our answer like, so for question A, we can frame our answer like this, that when we are using a hammer, then when it is with metal, then it can be beaten and we can make sheets. It can be drawn into a wire. When a piece of non-metal is there, they are brittle in nature and we can't make wires or sheet out of them. So that is the use of hammer, and with the use of hammer we can differentiate in between metal and non-metal like this. Now when we are using bulb, wire and the battery and switch, then when we are attaching a piece of metal, then the bulb will glow, and when we are attaching a non-metal, then bulb will not glow. So like this, when we are using a complete circuit, then we can differentiate between metal and non-metal. So for question B, that based on above experiment, how can we differentiate between metal and non-metal? So metals are malleable, they are ductile, they are good conductors of electricity. Because we can make sheets out of that, we can draw them into a wire and we can pass current out of it. So these are the properties of metal, whereas non-metals are, they are non-malleable, they are non-ductile and they are bad conductors of electricity. That means we cannot pass current out of them. We can also write here that they are non-conductors of electricity. Sixth question is, what are the amphoteric oxides? Give two examples of amphoteric oxides. Now we know that there are two types of oxides. That first is metal oxides and second is non-metal oxides. Now all the metal oxides are basic in nature. For example, K2O, Na2O and all the metal oxides are basic in nature. Whereas non-metal oxides like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, all are acidic in nature. But some of the oxides, they show properties of acid as well as base. They are acidic in nature as well as they are basic in nature. So those kind of oxides are known as amphoteric oxides. So what is the definition of that? That oxides which show the properties of both basic as well as acidic oxides are known as amphoteric oxides. So what are the example of those oxides? Zinc oxide and aluminium oxides are amphoteric oxide. That means they behave as acidic also, they behave as basic also. So both are showing character of acidic as well as basic.